there's people on the internet who don't like us. Do you consider them enemies?
Yes.
You do?
No, I'm just kidding.
What's up, you guys? And welcome back to school. But don't worry, everything is cool. I'm your host, Alyssa. And of course, I am here with the boys, Steve and Brendan. Say what's up, you guys.
What's up?
And we have a special guest today. We got Vanessa.
Woo!
Hey, thank you for having me.
For those of you guys who don't know, she's like basically like our own personal graphic artist. She's the one who made our beautiful portrait over there. And also, if you guys look at the corner of this video, she's also the one who made our logo.
Yeah.
So we had to have her on. It's been a while. I don't even remember if we had our intro when you were on here. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh,
we
then I guess we did.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I think we've been doing the intro for a while.
Yeah.
Have we really?
Longer than I
Love the
even
intro.
remember.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We never get tired of it, honestly.
No, but yeah, she was graceful enough, and we're lucky enough to have her be the artist of our logo.
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
asking me. I was geeked when you guys asked me. I was like, oh my God, yes, I would love to. Because I don't offer it that often.
No,
But the fact that you guys asked me, I was just like, hell yeah, I would be happy to. More than happy to.
Yeah.
And we had a blast.
It was a
It
lot of
was
fun.
really fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool. It came out pretty good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my first opening topic that I want to talk to you about, because this was not around when we did our first episode, but now it is. I wanted to talk to you about AI generated art and the whole like sphere of like AI art.
Barely.
Like maybe barely, but now it's
Yeah.
like everywhere, like being used like in like big businesses. Like Marvel used it, I think, for Secret Invasion, like one of their TV shows.
Intense.
And I guess I want to know your opinion on it. Do you feel like one AI generated art is art? Do you feel like there's some danger in there, or do you feel negative, positive? What do you feel about
I have
AI?
multiple feelings about it. I feel like there's lots of layers to it. Well, one, it's bad for the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of energy to keep those.
A lot of water, right?
So that's not good. But also, it's really interesting to see how helpful it can be, though. Problem solving, analyzing lots of data, helping you create verbiage for certain things. It's like very helpful. But also, it's really interesting because there's people that have actual trained skill, you know, with drawing or years of experience painting and things like that. And then also there's a space where now people are able to express their ideas and their creativity without having that time invested with the skill.
Right.
So that can be a little bit problematic in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's like ideas are really key. Like ideas are everything, you know? So it's like, it's layered for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's layered because, you know, I've studied, you know, I studied graphic design. I studied animation. I appreciate technology in a way when it comes to like creating visuals. And so, yeah, it's amazing to like bring a painting to life because that's how I see it in my head. So to see it in, you know, an AI video, it's like, oh my God, like that's actually amazing to see. But I'm also conscious about the harm that it does at the same time.
Yeah,
I think for me, my issue with it is like I think about artists who are specifically minority backgrounds. It's so hard for them to get opportunities and work, and like it's just really hard for them. And so when I see studios like Marvel prefer to take the easy way out and just be like, just generate it. We don't gotta hire anybody.
Right.
That's where my issue lies. Is is I don't like that it's taking away opportunity from people who are like yourself, who studied and trained and could you know, bring something to life. Because to me, I think about like how it was an awesome experience to get to work with you. But imagine how we just been like, just generate a fucking logo.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate it even more.
Like that's to me is what I think
a
about.
human touch is
it's
always priceless to me.
Yeah.
But it's even happening across industries. Like models are being AI. They're AI models now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
No, it's okay.
There's AI models. But gee, that's so crazy to me.
Yeah.
And
We
that's just
talked. I think
one.
we talked about that before. Was with I think it was Levi's,
Mm.
where they AI generated women of color to be their models, and that to me is like a direct example of like it's already hard enough for women of color in certain spheres, because you see how there's like what's the proper terminology where there's like whitewashing and they tend to make that the beauty standard. So it's so difficult for women with darker complexions or certain hair textures to get work.
Yeah.
And to then have a company just say, just AI them, like we don't have to pay them. You know, that's disheartening to me. Is like
very much
is how it's like they would sooner pick a computer than pick you.
Yep.
You know, and that makes me sad.
Yeah, I agree, because I think it also it's kind of like profiting off of the community without actually giving anything back to the community. Like we obviously can see the correlation that they would want to generate like women of color because they want to sell to women of color. So what's sad is that like only want the dollar from women of color and rather than give it back, like giving opportunities to like supermodels who could be from that background, you know. And so I also do think I get what you mean by, I think it is multi-layered too, because people have the debate of like tools and stuff. Like there's always been advancement in tools, and it's mainly like who the tools fall into the hands of. But I also like what you said about right now when we're talking about the logo and like it has a human touch. I think that's my biggest thing with AI generated art, is that like it misses that soul and like misses because I think all art has kind of subconscious hints of like the artist's soul. Like I think because even if you didn't mean to, like, you know how there's been this whole debate of like, is all art political? And people say yes, and some people are like no. I am very much a believer of like all art is political, because I think the subconscious nature that you grow up around, or the way you see things, the way your eyes perceive things, I think all those stuffs were shaped by stuff that you experienced in your life, and your life was shaped by politics. Like everybody's life is political, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah, and I think especially a lot of artists, whether it's through art or through music, I feel like it's all through feeling and emotion and just like struggle and all these things. Because I keep thinking of the painting that we saw at your exhibit, and the first one that I saw, which is the lady, and she's like this, and then it's like to me it reminded me of like an aura, but it also just felt like it's like a hug. And I was just like, I feel like you can't get that through just like something that's AI generated. Like I think that's just like through your own emotion and through your own feeling that you kind of visually just saw that, and it kind of came out on this canvas, right? And I think that's the beautiful part of like all that, of that human emotion, of that human like feeling, of just that soul in there, because then that's when you feel like, I don't know, I think to me I've always just been artsy, where I'm just like, you feel the painting like just through it, like just looking at it.
And thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. But also even thank you for coming to my pop-up exhibit.
Of course. Context, guys, we went to her
really
art exhibit. Shout out to her. It was really cool. Check out her page. It will be tagged.
We recently had the intimate art pop-up, and I'm so grateful that you came. And it really is another reason why I even wanted to do it, because of exactly what you're talking about. It's like we've lost so much connection with community and with each other, and even just bringing artwork. You know, like you said, there's so much art online. You can see it all the time. But can you see something right in front of you that someone put hours into? You just don't really see that anymore, you know? And it's so nice to me to be able to just share that with people, you know? To me, that's the best thing ever. And it's funny because, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you off.
Go ahead.
I had a funny thought the other day, because just like being here in LA for a while, driving, I was like in traffic, right? And I was thinking like, man, it's so crazy how much time people spend in traffic, right?
Yeah. And
there's all these strangers around you, right? And you're so close, but you're spending so much time right next to this car, right? I'm like, that'd be so crazy if somehow, it's probably like not ever gonna happen, but if somehow, like, how can we create like empathy or unity with the strangers in the cars around you? Like, wouldn't it be so crazy if like there was like a little sign that you could say like, or you could see or something like, this person is going to their, you know, their grandma's funeral, or what is it?
People had ham radios like
that. Or you would know like, this person's has their first day of school, or this person's late for work, and this person got a promotion, this person, you know, and so you would have so much more empathy for people if you knew.
I remember,
you know,
a while ago, maybe like a year or two ago, I brought it up on the podcast about how LA used to have a really good trolley system until the automobile industry basically killed it. And they talk about how a big benefit to public transportation is community.
Yes.
Is people from different walks of life would interact and talk to each other. And that's like an underrated thing that people forget that we lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, I agree. It's completely convenient. It'd be awesome if I could take the trolley somewhere and not have to drive.
Right.
But I think it's also something that people talk about was lost, is that there's no longer that area of community. Because you're right. I think it would be cool if people could meet like that. And it would probably be like public transportation, right?
Right.
But because that's so like, you just talked about it off camera about how public transportation in LA kind of sucks. So it's a bit hard to connect with people.
Right, like, how could you make it kind of fun? They'd
Yeah.
be like, oh, where's this person going? Then you'd be, it'd be kind of interesting.
That's exactly what
But
I
it
was
would
gonna
only work
say.
in traffic because obviously you can't read stuff if you're driving.
Yeah.
I was like, or a chat room, but I'm like, driving and then typing is probably not a good idea. But it would
But
make
like,
it a
would
lot
it be
fun.
cool if it was like AI somehow, where like AI could tell like if you were lying or not, and like they could like cancel it out, so like you could say like you're having an emergency just so you could like get to where you need to go.
Yeah, no, yeah, it would be cool. It'd make it a lot more fun. It wouldn't feel like as long, especially in LA. You wait like an hour
Right.
sometimes trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're
so-
here like memorizing their license plate.
I think
When really you could say like, this person, is going to their birthday party or something.
yeah, that would be cool.
or I could see it being used the opposite way too, where it's like road rage and stuff, and then they're like, it's like you
That'd
drive
be
like shit.
terrible. No, that would be horrible.
Like
Yeah.
proximity
Yeah.
chat.
See, AI
Yeah,
would stop
exactly.
that, but the AI would be smart enough to like
It-
stop any like negative.
Or it changes it to something sweet, like,
Yeah.
wow, you drive so good.
right.
Yeah. And then
And then you pass by. Like,
yeah, no, literally, it's like, what? I thought they liked me.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but,
that was a random thought.
a good random thought though.
That was like me while I was driving. That was like so. I started making stories of like where everyone was going. But yeah,
That's
next time you're in
that's
traffic,
how LA
try it.
traffic has you.
Yeah.
It has you
I
just
think
thinking
the
about
one
it.
I saw
Mine
is the
flies.
radios, like truckers. That would be cool if everybody.
It would be cool.
Had a
Yeah.
hand
Right.
radio. But you're right. I think people probably
People
I
would
feel like
abuse it.
people would be. I
To
think
be
people
mean to
would
each
be
other.
just be mean to each other. Honestly.
Some people would. Some people wouldn't.
Well, but the AI cars would stop that. That we would
The
train
AI
them to be
cars.
nice.
That would be cool. I was gonna say, I think also like going back to the AI art topic, there's also something to be said where some of AI art kind of feels colonial to me. Like, and I think it relates a lot
Oh my
to
god,
your
it
art.
is. It is.
Because your art obviously takes a lot of inspiration from indigenous roots and immigration roots. And I think something about AI feels colonial to me because it's trained using other people's art. So it's quite literally taking from other people and making its own and calling it as like original. And I think that's also what bothers me in a sense. Like, I don't really see it as many people bring it up. But like whenever I see AI generated videos too, like it's not even art per se, but like people making AI generated video of like live action Pokemon or something. Like some of it feels so colonial to me. Some of it feels like, I think because like I said, everything is kind of done in the subconscious. Like a lot of art and media has a lot of subconscious undertones. And I think since AI is trained off of it, it also sometimes has it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you'll see AI sometimes kind of like they'll. Have you ever seen when the AI generate street interviews?
Mm-hmm.
And they show like people who are people of color, and I feel like to some extent sometimes they feel like caricature to me that like are very close to being also racist.
Yeah.
And it's because it's being trained from the internet, and the internet just historically has always been unhinged on like as where people can put on a mask and say whatever they want.
Oh yeah, I think I see it also in like direct ways, like when everybody was using the draw me in a Miyazaki style, the Studio Ghibli, where they would be like, draw me in Studio Ghibli style. And like, I guess I can understand, or people were like caught up in the coolness of it, of like, wow, it looks like I'm in the anime. Like you're saying that like colonial aspect of like, that's a Japanese man's work. You know what I mean? Like he's still around.
Yeah.
Right.
I can see how that's like very, it's literally just taking his art.
Kind
Like,
of violating too, no?
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
where it's like,
absolutely.
Like
yeah.
if somebody AI generated like something in your style that's
Yeah,
very
it's kinda
similar.
scary. It's
Yeah,
very
right.
scary.
I was gonna say, is there a fear? Like, have you seen a potent fear of any other artists that you've talked to when it comes to AI or AI generated art?
No, but I have seen artists express that they feel like that their art is being copied or yeah, like it's been in the system somehow to now it's like regurgitating all these designs that look and feel like what someone created in their original artwork, and that's a whole nother set of problems.
Yeah, because in a weird way, it's plagiarism too, and I think plagiarism is so upsetting in the sense I think it can kill the artist. Like, because if I had, let's say, I was like a script writer and screenwriter, and I was writing a new movie and I thought it was really good, and then somebody saw it, AI generated their own script, which was subjectively better, and then that gets bought by a studio and it gets made, I would lose all my motivation to like continue to be a screenwriter. And then what people may see as a generational talent now never even had time to flourish because it was crushed on the spot.
Right.
So I think of like, I guess the death of all these artists that you don't even know ever existed.
Yeah, I also think about how like it makes me frustrated that I guess because like in movies, like you always see, or it's imagined that AI would come and take our laborious jobs.
Right.
Like they would do like mundane tasks that we don't want to do.
Like blue collar work.
They're kind of like delivering food now.
Yeah,
too,
like hard, laborious work, and then people would be able to stay at home and do art. But it's the other way around, which is twisted, where it's like now the AI does all the art.
Yeah, I saw a meme like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like I wanted robots to do my laundry, not create my artwork or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, have all the fun jobs.
I think art is important to society and just the soul as a person.
Oh my God.
I think and I think that the world is now kind of, what's the word?
Soulless?
Not soulless, but I mean, well, maybe, but
that was quick.
Like, there's just more barriers for people to be able to do that.
Well, you know, it's funny because I also read somewhere where it said a lot of like trust fund kids or just kids that are like well off or nepo babies, that they lean towards the arts or becoming an artist, but not because what was it? It was more so just like because it's human nature. When you take away survival mode, we're all creative inherently. Yeah. And I believe that too.
No, yeah, I'm sure. I think if money were not an object, if people didn't have to work constantly or have to feed their families or whatever, I think everybody would pick up an amazing art or something like that. But, you know, no, it's not so easy anymore.
Yeah. I feel like the other side too is people are being less expressive through art. And I think that's why we sort of are where we are, because people are being either discouraged or just feel like there's better people, right? Like there's this thing of like, I don't want to express myself because there's something better off, right? And I think people are, it's just more falling into that discouragement. And I think that's why a lot of people are having this struggle of like how to express it, you know, how to like show it out to the world. Like, because I feel like at least in artists, I feel like they've always have expressed their emotions through their art, whether it's music again, or film, whatever that is, or actual art. And I feel like nowadays people with AI, I would assume that people are starting to be like, no, like how you said, like if someone were to see the similar like thing that you, or the idea that you had, and now it's being attacked by something else, and you're kind of like, I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. So then you don't fully express who you are, or what you want to do, you know? Yeah,
it kind of, it reminds me of, have you guys ever seen The Truman Show?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know that scene where he has a flashback? So they're basically, the context of the scene is the director is explaining how they basically kept Truman from wanting to leave the island, leave the town. And there's this one scene of where he's like a little kid in like his middle school, and Truman, what do you kids want to be when you grow up? And Truman raises his hand and he's like, I want to be an explorer. And then immediately the teacher pulls down the world map. And it's like, oh, you're too late. It's already all explored. It kind of reminds me of that. And it correlates to what you're saying about like art does something for the soul, for the individual. Is I think that when you create a world where everything artistic can just be generated, I think it teaches the individual to lose their uniqueness because they can't express like their creativity.
Absolutely.
And it kind of very dystopian, makes the machines do the artistic work and makes the humans become automation. Yeah. Like they're the ones without a soul, uniqueness, like needing something.
I also think like it's not, I don't say like I understand in this sense of like I understand, keep doing it. I'm more just saying like I can see the path people take of like, I've always wanted to be an artist, like now I can do it. I think it's supposed to be hard, though. I think it's supposed to be hard to hone that skill, because I think part of what's hard about it is finding your voice and exploring yourself. Because I think when it comes to like art and artistry work, it makes the abstract like feasible. Like there's certain things that I feel like you just can't say with words. Like if you're like one of your paintings, right? How could you put it into words? Some of your paintings, you can't, and that's what's cool about it is but you can paint it on a canvas. And like what you're saying, I think people need that. I think that's good for people. I think it's healthy for you to explore yourself and be able to express abstract things that you just can't express. Because I've seen people also paint or write or make songs about things that are maybe they're even not abstract, but they're too much to say in words. Like I've seen people talk about trauma that they don't want to talk about in words, and that's fine. But I think it's so cool when people bring it out in art or, you know, stuff like that.
Hell yeah. And it was, I was just going back to what you were saying, Steve, about just people exploring their imaginations. I mean, I've been reading a lot of the teachings of Neville Goddard. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's just very much about how human beings have so much power in their own imagination, and that's where all of life starts. All ideas started in the imagination. Like this, basically our whole soul is all about the imagination, and we're the creators of experience. So without our imaginations, we can't create our lives the way how we might want it to be. And so that's a huge reason why all of this is important, why art and creativity is important. You know, you have to feed your imagination, because if you're not, you're just accepting what life is giving you rather than creating what you think it should be.
Exactly. I also think it's also like I think just in general, like as a kind of a history buff, I think it's so cool to see art from different histories. And the reason why I don't know if you guys see on camera, they should be able to, is the hands. And I like those because they remind me of the hand cave paintings. Oh, I think I brought it up the first time you were on the show.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But personally, that's I'm a paleontology guy, and that's always been my favorite works of art, is seeing the people in prehistoric times just paint their hands or like paint the animals. Yeah. I think that's so cool, because to me, I'm like, damn, as far as you can trace people, there's been art. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. So I think when people kind of lean into like AI, I think it's because people want it to be perfect. Yeah. You know, I don't think people want to see their art be like, wow, well, I can't draw a straight line. But I'm like,
I can't draw hands.
Yeah, but I'm like, but these cave people, like, they just painted their hands, and it's very crude, but I find it cool because I think it's so charming. Because to me, I'm like, oh, this is how these guys saw the world. Like, this is how they were taking things in. And I like that about art, because to me, I'm like, yes, there's written history, but I think that abstract nature of art is like, oh, this is how they were interpreting the world around them at the time. And
it's really interesting too, because I think AI does kind of reflect perfection, and I don't think perfection is anything that is impressive, at least to me. Like, for example, if I took a picture of an egg and I was like, I'm gonna try to make it as realistic as possible using just colored pencils and stuff, I could maybe get close, but you would be impressed because I did that physically, as opposed to I just typed in super realistic drawing of egg. And it's like, well, yeah, that took like no skill. Why am I impressed of a fucking picture of an egg? Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. But I just like stuff like that. Just like is like I think you're right that I think art is supposed to be hard, and I think that's some of the beauty of it. Like when I saw your portraits, that's one of the things I kept thinking about. I was like, I can't believe like all these
like,
paintings.
It took you hours, days, weeks to do that.
I know.
And I'm like
like live under a rock and just paint. I do.
But I think that's me. But I think that's cool to have like the I don't know, just to have that. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
It's strange though. Yeah. It's a strange feeling to kind of exchange your life to create these things. Yeah. You know, because in a way it's like I'm not out partying. I'm not, watching this show. I'm not just I'm here making this piece because I need to make it, because it's asking me to make it, and it's like, I think that it's it needs to be made and seen, you know. And I feel like those things, I just don't think it'll ever die, you know. AI is gonna be here, it's gonna whatever, but at the same time, it's like what we said earlier, you know, like when something is made by a soul, it's just undeniable.
Oh, for sure.
I agree.
I think that too. I think just right now people are enthralled with it just because it's new.
Yeah.
But I think about like you know how there's the machines that can play chess and you never beat them, or the machines that fix the Rubik's cubes. After a while, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah, or
it's like what I don't how like they want to see real people play chess. They want to see a real person.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, or even in video games, like nobody wants to play with the bots. No, like, everybody wants to play with real people.
Yeah, like at first, I think it's cool because it's new, but I think eventually people will be like, "But I want to do it," you know? Yeah. Because and then going back a little bit to what you're saying about how like it's kind of a sacrifice to spend all that time, but I think that's what's cool about it. Yeah, is like no, people took the time to do this. Like you know, it took them a long time, and it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to do that. Like because I think also about old art. Where I think I don't remember for sure, so don't quote me. But I remember in college or high school, they were talking about how plays with puppets in like the 1600s were really important because the church was very oppressive. So they would talk to like the community through the puppets.
Really?
Being like this play was deeper than what than just like it's just a puppet show. But stuff like that, I think is important, you know, because it's like, that is a risk because like the church was very oppressive back in the day.
Right.
But I don't know. I guess to wrap it up in terms of like what I'm getting at is like, I think the sacrifice of whether it's time or scrutiny or whatever it is what makes the art really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
No, yeah. I feel like it just gives it like a beautiful story. Like it comes out on your art, and we clearly see how incredible it looks. So I think the sacrifice, I don't know. You could have your own, but I feel like the sacrifice feels worth it because we all kind of see it and feel it just through the painting.
That means a lot to me. Really
Very well. Yeah. I like that. The biggest thing that I think, I guess moving from this topic, but the biggest thing that I'm catching is what you said is making me realize that honestly, yeah, that's true. As big as the fear is that AI art could take over the world, I don't think it ever would because there is so many different layers and deep like facets to a human made art that you can almost just feel that you just like can't get from anything else. Yeah. Like it's funny. I guess even the video game one is the one that really speaks to me because the bots are really advanced in video games, but it doesn't matter. You still just want to play with real people.
Yeah. And I think also kind of touching back a little bit on like why I have kind of the problem with AI is I don't think it's ever gonna make art go extinct. Like, I think people are always going to want to do some form of art. I think that's just nature. Like, that's why I bring up the cave paintings. That's just part of people. I think it's indiscriminately part of people. But what bothers me so is that, like, people are trying to make a living with that. And I think people should be, have that opportunity. Like, to be like, I want to have a career in art. And I think that's awesome. And to see these companies be like, nah. You do that on your own time. You know what I mean?
I kind of predicted that there's going to be a rebellious wave. Like you said, anybody could just type in and be like, you know, make a realistic egg, right? Anybody can do that, right? So I think that what might happen is that people will be putting a spotlight more on who can actually
do it.
Yeah, who can actually create. You know, I have like these predictions that maybe there'll be it'll bring us back to performance in a way.
Like live performances.
Yeah, live performances, or like even if technology advances more where we have like lives, right? We could like go on live right now and connect with so many people. But I have like this idea of like maybe somehow in the future, near future, there might be like some sort of like hologram live situation where like instead of it's on your phone, you're like breaking space and like the person could appear hologram, like suppose I'm painting live, right? I feel like that's kind of like where we might be headed, you know, because it's like then you know that, you know, this person actually can perform, you know, and I think that might be another level of like separating, you know, people that have invested time as opposed to people that just type buttons.
Oh, yeah. I think me and Steve were having this conversation I don't know if you ever seen those, I mean, on Netflix, I think it's where they have shows or movies where you can pick your ending. Like
yes, I love those.
They did like was it Bandersnatch?
I love those books.
Yeah,
I think that was.
Did you read the books?
They have those.
Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, Bandersnatch.
I think they're gonna do that with AI. Like I think that's just the next. I think Ben Affleck was talking.
I
about
have
it.
so many movies that I want to see
Yeah.
new endings for.
Where he was like, he was like, in the future, you're gonna be able to talk into your Fire Stick and be like, I don't like that ending, change it for me.
Hell
and
yeah.
he was like,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think again, that's gonna be for a while. It's gonna be that's the new thing. But I think after a while, people are gonna say, I don't know. I'm not a writer. And I think live
made it
shows,
worse.
I think live like plays and like theater is gonna come back because of that.
I do
Yeah.
think theater is a very good example of the way that I think art can just survive through generations and innovations.
Yeah.
Because obviously when you go to a theater, like I did theater in high school, and in professional theater, like let's say we have a scene where a dragon flies in, they're obviously gonna have like people kind of controlling it, but their goal isn't to make it look as realistic as possible.
Right.
Or if you're in the audience and you see the dragon, you're not mad because the CGI or the graphics aren't
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
You understand that it's a performance
Right.
and you accept it as is. And I
Yes.
think theater's a
Yeah.
really good example of like you see it and that translates to other art.
Yeah.
Right? The other art, it's not perfect, but you know what? You like it because you understand that a human made this.
It has
point.
charm, you know.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a charm to it not being
I
perfect.
struggle with that. I
Yeah.
struggle with that a lot, yeah. But I think that now I feel like there's like a little bit of a rebellious thing that's happening too, because
Mhm.
I'm leaning towards surrealism a little bit,
Yeah.
and I just feel like it doesn't have to be perfect because it's imaginary, you know.
Because I think that's why people like go back to old media, like whether
Mhm.
it's record players or
Or
Nostalgia.
VHS.
camcorders or VHS.
yeah,
It doesn't look pristine all the time, but it's got like a charm to it
Yeah.
where it's like
Yeah.
it's slightly flawed, but it looks like it has
Yeah, a
character because of
vibe.
that. Like whether you have a record player and you hear it kind of skip a little or that grain, I think that sounds
The
cool.
crackling.
Sounds more alive.
bring
you
on
know?
the grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the grain.
Yeah. I think also it just overall seems very nostalgic.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us are like wanting that again.
Yeah, for sure. That sense of like old school kind of. But either way, for sure, the aesthetics of it and like the vibe is really what like sells it for me.
Yeah.
Like VHS, like I really like I was just telling you about Quentin Tarantino's coffee shop. They have like an old big VHS TV and they play old movies on it from
Cool.
VHS. And there's just something so different
I've
about
never
it.
been there.
Oh, you should go. It's called Pam's Coffee. Shout out Pam's Coffee. You guys know me. They know me. I've gone in so many times and they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
That is so cool.
And
I'm
it's like
sad.
same thing.
Yeah.
I'm sad to admit that I've seen Pulp Fiction for the first time recently.
Oh,
I
really?
can't believe I'm so late at watching all these
Did
movies.
you like it?
I loved it.
Yeah, it's good, right?
I mean, it was like vulgar and
oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Intense.
like a lot of like profanity and just
Crazy
No,
scenes.
yeah, he gets his
But-
criticism and
But it was very like the pace of it, the visual storytelling of it. It was like very, very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, okay, this is Pulp Fiction. Everyone always talked about Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah. I
seen
feel
it.
like that. I don't know if I'm biased, but I think when I watched that movie, I really see like I understand why this is the one. Like he was already made the ways. He made himself known with Reservoir Dogs, his first movie, but Pulp Fiction was really what upped his status to like, oh, okay.
well, it created a genre, right?
Oh, did it?
It did.
I think
in
it was
a way, yeah.
it was a new it created a new genre because I think everything tried to be Pulp Fiction. It's kind of people bring it up more with and I think it's more easily seen and more notable in Get Out,
Oh.
where that created its own new genre.
Yes,
Oh,
so I
yeah.
think
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, I remember in film school where we went to, they would talk about that's why people make Pulp Fiction a big deal. Is it kind of was like its own thing.
It was
That,
kind of inspiring hearing his story too. He was like sleeping on the couch with a friend of his,
Yeah.
and like no producers would talk to him,
Yeah.
and someone just happened to believe in him, and they found the budget, and
yeah.
next
And
thing you know,
and he was a late bloomer too. I think he was already 29 and hadn't directed anything. And he said and I think in a story that his one of his friends was turning 30, and they were like, "We're gonna have our 30th birthday, blah blah," just like a casual conversation. And he was like, "Damn, we're turning 30, and I'm not anywhere near where my dream wants to be." And then that's where he like went on to go do
hot
his
take,
movies.
but I think the best artists are the late bloomers.
Yeah?
I think for me, I'm a little bit biased, but I think like Van Gogh was a late bloomer.
yeah.
I don't think he
Yeah.
started until like his late 30s, 40s.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's because they have that hunger. Or
Well, the only reason I say that is because I think if you start a little later, this is just generally speaking, I think you have a little more life under your belt,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a little bit more understanding. So if like you
Yeah.
do, I'm not no disrespect to young artists. I think you're awesome too. I'm just saying like this
Oh,
is
yeah.
why
They all
I have
thumbs down right
this
now.
is why they're generally more my taste is I feel like, oh, this guy went through some stuff and he
Yeah.
unpacked it, and then he
Yeah.
learned
Yeah.
to trade and he made it cool. So
One of my favorite artists, he didn't start creating like his most famous works until he was like in his 50s.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I think that's Klimt, but I also
Yeah.
feel like that, like you said, you know, they have more life under their belt.
yeah.
Like, you can feel that somehow. in
Yeah,
the
I've
work.
also noticed a lot of artists are late bloomers. I don't know where that stereotype comes from.
I'm definitely a late bloomer.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
where that
Wait,
stereotype
Wait, are you
comes from.
are
other
you
than-
talking about Gustav Klimt?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
him too.
I love him.
I recreated his The Kiss.
Yes, I love those.
I recreated that in art history.
I get really inspired by his stuff too, and I
I-
love how it's like surrealism too in a way, right?
Mhm.
Like beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. I think on average, like directors do their first big budget movie like in their 40s and 50s. So
Makes
I think
sense.
on average most
I
people.
want to make a movie one day.
Ooh,
You
it'd be
will.
cool. Yeah, you will.
I think the stereotype of like you have to be successful young comes from probably like sports, but I think that's different because
Modeling, acting,
sports and,
I-
like-
no, not acting. I would say more.
But I think other fields, I'm like, it sounds like everybody else starts late.
Yeah.
But artists too, yeah. I feel like
Yeah.
artists, like I think because of social media, there's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a
But-
good point.
But
Yeah.
I feel like in the art world, a lot of the artists that are successful are much older.
I also
Yeah.
think it takes a long time to find your voice for some people. Like, you
Yeah.
know, some
Yeah.
people really like find
Yeah.
their.
I've also heard that people also say like the faster, what is it, when the faster you get up, the faster you come back down, kind of thing.
Oh,
I think
very
s-
well
Slow to
said.
grow, long to last, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because
Something like that.
it's in the same way where I feel like I think sometimes you go up so fast, and we've seen it with like, you know, young actors, young artists, where they kind of struggle with like how to grow up, right, in like the public eye. And I think that's like the struggle in the same way of like sometimes you go up so high and you're kind of like barely hitting 18 or 20 and you're just about to turn 21 and you're like, damn, like what else do I do kind of with myself?
That
And I
reminds-
think, yeah.
That reminds me of a book that I read called The Ego is the Enemy. And it was a little bit about that, of like people who become super successful quickly, and then it creates an ego, and you stop growing after that. And so it's like always learning how to check your ego at every successful milestone, and not I mean, being happy for yourself and celebrating those good moments,
Yeah.
but not dwelling so much in them
Mhm.
that you stop growing. And
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that's like a huge thing to
Yeah.
keep in mind.
For sure.
You know?
I
Talking about-
can imagine like if you're young and you blow up, you're like,
Yeah,
I'm the
like-
fucking shit.
yeah, like, I
man.
don't have to do
Yeah.
anything else
But
ever.
I've heard that before. I mean, I don't know where specifically, and I don't know what their credentials were, but they were saying that generally speaking, people who become famous get frozen at the age that they become famous as.
Wow.
So like when you think about like
Justin Bieber or
actors
something.
or like young pop stars who make it big, who kind of doing like immature antics, generally it's because they got famous like at 18 or 17.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
When you're very immature,
yeah.
and people say that you get frozen at that state. if
But
you
also, I
become
feel like it's
famous.
all their yes men around them.
Oh,
That's
for sure.
dangerous. I feel like that's more dangerous, right? Just people around you being, oh, yeah, that's great. Everything you do is
So
amazing.
smart.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm
Yeah.
going to need one person to be real with me.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just
Yeah,
one.
just one. Not two, not three, just one.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is fair. I was
So
thinking
if
about
one day, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. But one day, if we, y'all,
Get
we
big and
get big,
famous.
well, all of us, let's
Keep
Let's
each
keep
other
it
in
real.
check.
Let's keep it
Check
real.
me. Check
keep
me.
it real.
Check me, check me.
True.
Check me.
I don't know why I was thinking about the Rizzler, the little kid who's like famous. I was like, is he gonna stay that age his whole life?
You know, that kid, I think he's actually really smart. Like he went, do you know what I'm talking about?
Which kid? Wait,
The
which
Costco
kid?
boys.
The Rizzler? You guys don't know who the Rizzler
The little
is?
boy who's part of the Costco boys, where he's just this little boy who got famous for going.
I guess I feel
He's-
like a boy now
he's
just
like
because they both
he's
don't
kind of
know.
like a meme, but he's this little.
I don't know.
Who?
He's just this little boy who got famous.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
He's like-
and people think he's like really adorable. He is really adorable.
I'm gonna show
He's
them a
really
picture.
well spoken though. I think he's a smart kid.
So
like him.
did he grow up?
No, he's still young.
he
He's
just
happened.
became
Did he
Megas.
grow- Did he grow up?
He was on the Tonight Show.
Oh,
You didn't see him on Jimmy Fallon?
I generally don't know who you're talking about.
This kid doesn't ring a bell to you guys?
No. No.
I think we're on different
I
sides.
live
of
under
it.
Really?
a rock. I'm
The-
sorry.
This kid doesn't look familiar to
I
you
have
guys.
never seen that face.
What? This is kind of crazy to me. Look, he's come on like podcasts and stuff.
I'll catch up.
Steve's dream
reminds
is
me
to have him on.
It is my dream. It is my dream.
It's gonna happen.
I'm actually feel like such a boy for us both knowing and
who the
then,
Rizzler is.
yeah, and then being like,
I never know like what's going on. Like what is it, the 6'7" thing? So what is that?
Oh, so
6'7"
6'7" comes from it's like there's a rap song, and
Okay.
part of the lyrics start with he says 6'7". I don't know the exact lyric, but he
Yeah,
says 6'7". So then people would use that to make a TikTok edit. So like, let's say somebody's doing a post conference, like a sports conference, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we lost by if we could have gotten 6 or 7 points." They would then use that moment to start the song and do like an edit of them. But then
Okay.
it became so common
Yeah.
that it became like a meme.
because
where
people kept being like, "What does 6'7" mean?"
Because then people would be like, "I'm gonna say 6'7", make an edit of me," and then it became like it kind of snowballed into like a meme of like 6'7".
6'7" literally
Yeah.
means nothing.
Yeah,
So- but it's like you
Yeah.
pretend that it means something.
Well, because I had seen somewhere that somebody was like, it's like from the song where it was like 1738, where like 6'7"
Yeah,
is essentially the
Very
same.
Yeah,
similar.
do you
Yeah,
remember
very
that,
similar.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just random. It doesn't
Where it's
really
like
mean anything.
1738,
show
but you would
you-
do it in like the voice of
Goes
like
to show you
how
how
he
big
does
the
it.
internet is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
that
it
our
could reach
side,
millions
yeah.
of people and still never touch other
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Right?
Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm really
Well,
surprised the
But I
Rizzler.
don't
You
know
guys
if
don't
I
know who the
count.
Rizzler is.
I don't know if I count. I literally live under a rock.
No,
Just painting under your rock.
Yeah, I don't.
Cave paintings.
I don't count. I don't think. Cave.
I generally just like don't keep up with a lot of the trends, and sometimes if I do, I'm just like I just skip over them. But like, cause like the 6'7" I had seen, the first video that I saw was from In-N-Out. You know how they call out the numbers,
Mhm.
and I guess the workers started like fighting as to who was gonna say it first, and then somebody just gets it and it's like 6'7",
Yeah.
and then
The whole-
I was
the
just
whole
like,
store went
and
wild.
then all the comments were like, "What does 6'7" mean?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I clicked on it, and then it wouldn't really tell me anything up until somebody, I think in the comment, was like, "Oh, it's kind of like, you know, that song, like 1738, where it didn't really mean anything. It's like the new trend now for
yeah.
this generation, I guess."
And
I'm
then
like,
coincidentally, like we were planning another guest to be on, and Julie's like,
I
said they're
missed
free.
it. I completely missed
Julie
that
said
shit.
they're
I
free on
missed
September
it.
6th or 7th. And brother was like, "Did you just say 6, 7?"
And my ass was like, "Oh, okay, so we're only free on the 6th or the 7th." So I didn't ask about the 28th. So I was like, all right.
I didn't notice either until you said that. And I was like,
But-
"Oh wow."
I guess a small.
I missed it.
internet
I
deep
missed
dive.
it, and then I caught it after, and I was like, "Well,
That would've
it's
been
too
me.
late. Well, I already booked somebody, so it's fine."
I guess a small internet deep dive, right?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody doesn't know about the whole Taylor Swift and Kelsey's name?
I didn't know until
Oh, I'm
yesterday.
sure people know.
Last night.
Engaged.
People don't know. I'm sure there's
You sure people
that
don't know? I saw it everywhere.
I've
There's
been
like
seeing
so
it
many people.
everywhere.
There were so many people reposting. There was like I follow this page on Instagram that's called Secret Los Angeles, where they just show off like cool spots. They made a whole original post like 12 slides of like the post, and it's like me and open freeway, or
You
like
know,
me and
it
an ice
wasn't-
matcha.
it wasn't until maybe last year, 2023, that I found out how big Taylor Swift was. Like, I knew she was like a big pop star. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, who?" I know who she is, but I didn't know she
Little
was
ball.
like that big. Like,
What made you think?
like Michael Jackson big.
What made you realize that?
Because I remember people were talking about how she would go to the football games
Right.
and to support her husband, her now fiance. And we were talking about that it would bring in like
Yeah.
millions of new viewers, that women were not getting into football.
She
or
sold
that,
out his jersey too.
yeah, I remember being like, I didn't know she had that much pull.
People
And then-
love Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Like,
an
I guess-
article came out that
yeah.
like her concert tour that she was doing was like enough to support a small country.
Yeah, like
So crazy.
And I'm not even saying that like to be like
A hater or
like a
anything?
hater. I just
Yeah,
I guess when I think about people that big, like Michael Jackson's or Freddie Mercury's, you're like, they don't make pop stars like that big anymore. I just didn't. But to see one like in live and be
Yeah.
like, damn, she's huge. She's like the Beatles. Big.
Yeah. Did you guys see they asked Trump about it in an interview like a couple days ago?
Yeah, and he said
About the
something
engagement?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so stupid.
What did he say?
It was.
I didn't see it.
He was like, "Oh, I wish them well."
Yeah,
or
he was
something
just like,
that.
"Oh wow, congrats to them." Even though like a couple
But like
months ago.
yeah, you'd like
It was
trash
earlier
and
this
stuff.
year, no?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why.
But randomly, Taylor Swift is Sagittarius, I think.
Ew.
Taylor Swift is
Ew.
Sagittarius.
Is that ill? Aren't you?
Ew.
Aren't you a Sagittarius?
think
Yeah,
she
but
said
I
she
said,
doesn't wanna
ew, I
associate.
don't
Oh, you
want
don't want to
her.
associate?
You don't like her?
No.
A lot of people don't like her, and a lot of people love her. So
Mhm.
A lot
that's
of people
funny
love
to
her,
see.
yeah.
A lot of people do love her.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
I
I
think
remember
I-
one time I was in New York and she had a concert out there. There was like so many like girls. It was just like a whole train just full of like Taylor
No,
Swift
she-
fans.
yeah.
It
No,
was
she's
wild.
big, yeah.
huge.
No, yeah.
Like
Whether you like her or don't, like you can't
no, I'm
deny
telling you,
she's
she's like the
got pull.
Beatles big. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even know that, and I'm telling you,
'cause-
like
yeah.
like in 20
Mhm.
years, my kids would probably be like, "Did you ever go see Taylor Swift?"
Yeah.
for sure.
Because I would ask my dad about that. I'd be like, "Did you ever go see the Beatles?" And
Or
he'd be like-
Elvis or
And
something.
he'd be like, "Honestly, it wasn't until like they had been past that I realized how big they were, and I was like, oh, it's happening now. Like I didn't even realize how big they were."
It's kind of funny because I remember being a little kid, and it was one of those times where we went to go visit Mexico. And I was like a little kid. We were like in the store, and they had like a notebook, and it had the Beatles on them. And for like I don't know, just a little kid, you don't really understand the world. I was just really shocked that they had like something of the Beatles, and I was like, "Mom, do you know who this is?" And my mom was like, "Yeah, that's the Beatles." And I remember my little kid mind like basically exploded.
Like you know the Beatles.
Yeah, you know who the Beatles are? I was like, yeah, that's the Beatles. Yeah, my mom would like listen to their songs and stuff, and I'm like, I did. That's when I really knew that the Beatles were famous.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, when Michael Jackson passed away in Mexico, they were always playing him.
Oh,
Really?
really?
I
Yeah,
that
we
makes
do.
sense. Michael Jackson, dude, biggest guy ever.
Yeah.
Is she Michael Jackson big? Is that
don't
sacrilegious?
know.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so.
know
I
that
think maybe her bank account is.
Ooh, good point.
I'm like,
Very well
I don't,
said.
it's just like, I guess I had never really seen a celebrity with that much pull. So I'm like, she basically took over the NFL. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah,
But
you
I-
already know her
But
wedding's
that's
gonna
why
be
she
everywhere.
gets like that big harsh criticism of
For
like
sure.
not speaking out and stuff.
I think so
But
too.
I think the only thing she spoke out against was for Trump or against Trump.
Yeah,
Everything
she said
else
that.
She just hasn't.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think
Well,
that's
it's
why
his-
people were like, "You're marrying the guy who's like
Yeah.
Right.
my
Well,
captain."
yeah. I
My
think
captain.
I think it's because she supposedly came out with a documentary where she was crying, saying how like she wants to be more outspoken about certain things, especially like everything that happens with like women and stuff. And so then people were like, she literally has a whole documentary where she's speaking about how like she wants to be this person to be outspoken about certain things, about
Mhm.
you know LGBTQ and all these things. But when it's actually time, she doesn't do it. Which like now, right?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I was about to say, like, I wonder what it's like to be a white American and know that some of your family is like super staunch, like conservative and racist. But I was like, wait a minute. I was like, as if there's not a lot of Mexican Americans who are literally the exact
Yeah.
same, right?
Very
Yeah.
divided.
Yeah, people come from all shapes and sizes who have
Yeah.
kind of like hateful ideologies. So I can't even be like,
I
imagine
feel
what
for
that's
those
like.
people though. I see those stories in the comments where people say like, I had to stop talking to my whole family, and then people are like, shame on you for doing that.
Yeah.
There's like other commenters that are like attacking
for
them for
sure,
that,
yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that's just so crazy.
No,
to me.
yeah. I think how I was telling you guys about my crash out last night, that was one of the things that I kept like in my head, because I kept thinking about like how people, and I think that's a very privileged thing to say, that you put like you should set things aside and not let it affect you. But I'm just like, there's just this guy who's very homophobic, misogynist, like racist, and like you guys fully support him, and those things are like me. I'm a woman. I'm losing like my rights, right? I'm a woman of color specifically. And I'm just like, you guys love this man who's very vocally homophobic, racist,
Yep.
misogynist. How can you say that I still can be friends with you
Yeah.
when in reality you're going and encouraging somebody who's against me, myself?
You
Yeah.
let them
And,
know.
like,
Teresa,
Yeah,
let
and
'em
I'm just
know.
like, how does that make me feel any safe? Like, and I think that was like my anger with all this, because like Taylor Swift specifically, right? And I think she's one of the people, whether she is or she's not, but I feel like she's one of those people who's saying like, you know, we can set aside our differences and still be friends, right? Her fiance loves Trump, right? And she loves Kamala because she endorsed Kamala, right? And she can say, like, we can set differences aside and still come together. But I think that's just very privileged. Of course, she's a white woman, right? She can say that, like, it doesn't affect her. But I just feel like that's why it's such a huge and horrible thing, because of the fact of, like, she's saying all these things, but it's attacking these other type of, you know, minority groups. And I just feel like you just can't do that. Like, that's just so dangerous. Like, that's just so, like, to still, I don't know. I just feel like in my head, I don't understand how people see how wrong it is to support Trump. And, like, that's why to me it just angers me, because I'm like, the same people who are, I guess, quote unquote, vocal about LGBTQ and women's rights are the same people who are reposting Taylor Swift's engagement picture. And I'm just like, how can you guys do this? And then there's like people who are against guns, right? And I'm like, Trump doesn't do anything about, you know, whether gun control, whether whatever that is. And you're still over here reposting Taylor Swift, who I guess her husband, fiance, whatever, still loves Trump, is going on these podcasts and doing all these things. And it's just like, how can you support all these people when they're going against all of us?
And don't get me started on the whole Jeff Bezos wedding.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I generally, that's why I was having my crash out, because I generally was just like, I just feel like it's so hypocritical, and like seeing everybody who was reposting, because I saw that everywhere, every single story, I saw Taylor Swift's engagement. And it was the same people who were saying they hate Trump, they hate what he's doing, they hate these ICE raids. But I'm like, but Taylor Swift is still a part of that. Like, she's still a part of that, like, problem, because she's over here dating somebody who loves Trump. And that's why I'm like, how can you, I don't know. I was just like so mad, because I'm like, how can you still support this artist? How can you support any of these artists who still love Trump? Like, I just feel like they're doing all these things that we've been seeing in LA, all these ICE raids, all these attacks. And I'm just like, how can anybody still support these people? Like, I generally feel like I myself have been trying my best to stop listening to all these artists of that, you know, that were there on his, like, what is it?
Inauguration.
And like all that stuff. Cause I'm like, I'm generally just over it. Like, I'm done. Like, I just feel like I can't, like, I feel like people are suffering too much to like continue to like support this.
Yeah, no, I get you, Julie. I get you. Yeah. And it'd be like,
what I guess like trips me out is like when people, like, kind of how you brought up when it's like cutting off family or friends and stuff like that. What I never understood is like why they want their cake and eat it too. It's like, you want to like strip people of their rights and be like, but we're still friends though, right? And why do you even want to be friends with them? I don't know. I never understood that.
Yeah.
It's like why you need to be.
I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves, especially when it comes to like the Latino and Latina community, is like people who kind of reiterate that rhetoric of it's not that serious. Because it's like, but it is that serious. It's always been that serious.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure people are tired of seeing all the stuff that I talk about in my stories, because it's all political. It's all, you know, but yeah, I appreciate your words and your sentiment, Julissa, because trust me, I feel the same exact way. I'm telling you, I wake up crying most days after seeing all the news. You know, this is why I have created the work that I've created recently, so that I could fight that anger that I feel, because I am also insanely angry to tears because of exactly what you just described. And, you know, this is just my own personal way of dealing with it. Those women that you saw in that painting, you know, the ones that are in like their own orb or whatever, it's because I wanted to create a space where women are safe and they're seen. And in my mind, in my imagination, you know, at least there's a space where our people are safe. And now I'm about to cry myself because we need that. We really, really need that.
I think overall it's just mentally draining.
It is.
Because like how I said, I think last night just seeing everything overall felt like I think it's just really hard to be that person, right? To be outspoken.
Oh, it is.
And like just feel everybody's emotion. Like it's at work, it's in your personal life, it's on your phone. And I think that's why it's so hard, like, to be this person, to be outspoken, because it's continuously like always feeling like attacked, like
Yeah.
constantly just being attacked,
Yeah.
like in every direction. And I think that's why it's like hard, because I think to me, I just take it a little more personal, because I'm just like, I feel like I thought we were friends. Like, I thought I could trust you. And I feel like you being this person who still supports this side or isn't even saying anything at all is already like an attack on myself. Because it's like, it's my family. Like, it's my friends. Like, it's just me. Like, as an individual, this is me who I feel like you're attacking. And it just doesn't make me feel safe anymore. And I think that's why, to me, it's just like, it's just so like disheartening to like see of like why people don't get it. And I think I think it's just mentally draining to continue to be this like, and I'm not saying I'm going to stop. I don't think I ever will, because I feel like it's something that is needed to be outspoken and still talk about these things to make people feel uncomfortable. Because I feel like I'm tired of being silent and making people feel like it's okay what they're doing and they're saying. Because I'm just like, I'm done with it. Like, I just don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to be outspoken, and I'm going to be me, and I'm going to say what I want to say about these things, because they're genuinely just hurting me. Yeah. Like, I just feel like I can't do that anymore. And I think that's why for a long time it's just been like silent, and I'm just like, no, like, I think it's time to be more outspoken about these things.
Yeah. We have to.
Yeah.
You know, you never know who you're going to inspire, or you never know what type of community will be drawn to you because of what you said.
Yeah.
And that's what's really important too. You know, like, there's like a different level of dehumanization that's happening right now, and lack of empathy. And when you're talking about women of color, it's like there's just a huge gap. Yeah.
I think for sure the hard part for myself is the fact of like, I think I do always get stuck on the negative part, but I think it's because I always feel very surrounded by the negative part. That it's hard to like get out of it. Yeah. Because like how I said, like, I see it at work. Yep. I see it on my phone. And like, I think it's just so hard to like get myself out of it. Yeah. But like how I said, that's why like it angers me so much to like know that there's bad people, that there's evil people who are being platformed, who are making huge money, right? Out of hatred, out of negativity. And I think that's what really gets to me, is that it seems like those people are winning.
Yeah, it does.
So like,
it does right
to
now.
me, it becomes like even more draining, because I'm like, it just feels like I don't want to do this anymore.
I feel you, Julie. I mean, I literally, everything that you're saying, I completely agree with. And like I said earlier, this feeling of mourning is happening, and this feeling of hopelessness. But you know what though? I'm really glad that you're saying that, because you're expressing the way how so many people are feeling right now. I can empathize exactly with what you're saying. And we cannot let that negativity kill us or affect us in that way. We have to create our own ripple effect. You know, and you are, by expressing it, and it's good, you know, to be able to say those things, and just, you know, even say it in a trusted space of like-minded people. And, you know, somehow, whether it's through words, you know, whether it's through creating something, we gotta create something that can bring a little bit of healing to you, because that anger isn't of you, you know, like, you are not that energy. You are not this sadness, this sorrow. You're not this hopelessness. You are not, you're everything that's the opposite of that. You know, like, you are creativity. You are imagination. You are every person, you know, that deserves to live this life, you know, with dignity. And you're not alone, you know, you're not alone. Yeah. I feel you 100%. Yeah. I really do.
I get why also it feels like a personal attack, because like, I think I can be self-aware enough to understand that I don't fully feel how you would feel. I feel it to an extent, because obviously these things that are being affected are my community, and I am part of that minority. Yeah. But I think it takes another step when you are a woman of color. Yeah. Like, I think that really does feel like a personal attack on you, because they're basically kind of the whole like notion of we can still be friends even though we don't agree political wise is kind of, to me, in a very vulgar sense, is like spit at you and you can just accept it. Like spit on you, you can just accept it that I'm being abusive towards you. It feels that way because it's like you especially men who repost stuff like that or don't care. It feels like then you don't care about my experience. This is specifically affecting me as a woman of color. And I think that's where I'd like everything that you say. I think it makes me realize that. And I think even me, who I consider myself like-minded like you, if I can have that revelation, then you expressing yourself can also bring other people to have that revelation of like, we're having extremely different experiences. And I think it's important to always keep that in mind. And like, it's never like how we were saying, like, it's never something it's not that deep or it's not that serious, because it clearly is. Like, there's people being affected to this.
It is. And you know, I feel like this is a nice little segue into these little notes here, because so just for a little context, at my pop-up I created a small wall that said, leave a prayer for all the people that are suffering in the hands of ICE, and this is an act of solidarity. So you all, maybe some of your notes are in here, and some of the guests actually wrote down on these little notepads and stuck them on the wall. And I really, really did this because I seek out ways to find solidarity and to find hope with other people. And it really meant a lot to me. Did you guys write a little note? Did you?
I did. I wrote something.
Okay, so I might read yours. If you recognize it, let me know. But I haven't read these yet because I knew I wasn't in a mental space to do it. You know, I called this little pop-up Borderlines because I just realized, you know, with everything that's happening in immigration and just thinking about the concept of a border, my side, your side, me versus you, and it's so much more. Seeing all this division, it's just reminding me so much of like, who are we as people besides all of the things that we label ourselves as all the things that we believe or we think we believe or how we were raised. Like, who are we as actual people? You know, it's like everyone feels somehow like mixed or layered or two-sided, you know? So it's like, that's one of the reasons why I did it. And then obviously the other reason is just thinking about the community, like actually saying a prayer. You know, maybe there's not a lot we can do, you know, maybe not being able to bail people out or stop ICE when they, you know, help people that are being arrested. But what we can do is we can, you know, at least say a prayer. And I truly believe that prayers do make a difference, you know, even like you said, like, well, thinking, putting an energy of a good thought to the community. So I'm just going to read a few. Just tell me when to stop, because one of them says, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. Don't stop fighting. Peace and love. The other one says, may all of the innocent people suffering at the hands of this administration get justice. I pray for true freedom. May our world gain wisdom and discernment. That's Bambi. Oh, if you see this, Bambi, I love you. Another one is, may all beings return to love. May all beings heal. May all beings be free. May all beings seek truth. May all beings be kind. May all beings be light. May all beings see. And may all beings see we and all are part of the same source. Oh, I love that. None of you guys didn't.
No.
That's so beautiful. See, that's the same sentiment that I had in mind, that we are from the same source. That is beautiful. I don't know who wrote this, but thank you. Someone said, using my voice and movement to stand up for those in my biking and skating community.
Oh, I did see that one. That one's cool. A special shout out to them.
Special shout out. Someone said, may the universe and your higher self keep guiding you and allowing you to create more beautiful work that will heal generations. Mil bendiciones. Oh, Adri, that's my sister's best friend. Thank you, Adri. Another one is, good and love conquers all. We will win. That's nice.
That one was me.
Good and love. Really?
Yeah.
Conquers all. We will win. See? I believe that.
I really do.
Sending lots of love and positive blessings. We are resilient. Amen.
That was me.
See?
Wow. We were right next to each other, Julie.
We are resilient. We are resilient. There's only two more. In a time of unjust... Oh, sorry, I can't even read that. In a time of injustice, may we all find... Oh, my God, I can't even read that. Can you read this? Can you read it?
It says, in a time of injustice, may we all find unity in our hearts to prevail the is it irreversible time?
Sorry,
Irreversible times going on, and be guided by all our ancestors and our people. I think that's what it says.
A very good sentiment.
It was
I'm
just
sure.
written really fast.
I'm sure your heart
It's in
was
cursive
yeah.
and it's like connected.
Is that yours?
Is that you?
No,
Oh.
I thought you were
I
saying
was
like,
is that you?
I'm sure whoever
I'm
wrote
sure
that
whoever wrote that really,
Yeah.
really meant it.
yeah.
No, it was just... Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I understand what
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah.
But I love the ancestors part.
Yeah.
And we all find
Absolutely.
unity in our hearts to prevail. Yeah. I just don't know if that's irreversible times going on. I think that's the word.
Horrible.
Oh,
Horrible. Okay. To prevail the horrible times going on and be guided by all our ancestors.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
The ending.
And then the
Landed.
last one is God is always with you.
Brandon
That's nice.
That's so
No, that
cute.
wasn't me. I did
Oh.
write something,
Oh,
but then
there-
it fell off.
or attached.
I think that was
Oh.
Brendan.
No, no, no.
I
I think I
No,
just
that's all
wrote,
of 'em.
no one is illegal.
Thank
and
you
stolen
so
land.
much to everyone.
Thank
I
you
love
guys.
Yeah,
no
that was
one is
powerful.
illegal. And
Yeah.
it means a lot to me, really. And thank you for your
course,
words
of
because
course.
these are words that we need at all
Yeah.
times. We
Yeah.
forget sometimes, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's important to express how you feel, even if what you're feeling is defeat and a mourning of hope, because I think that builds community. You know, and I think community is really important right now.
More than ever.
I don't think it's weakness to show that. I don't
Yeah.
think it shows that you've been defeated. I guess the way I see it, I hope this isn't toxic positivity, but I guess the way I see it is like, well, at least you go down swinging. You know what I mean?
Hell
Like you go down like,
Hell
I'm
yeah.
despaired and I'm sad, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna stop
It
fighting.
reminds me of that one movie. You know, The Matrix Revolutions? When
Yeah.
He was like about
Yeah.
to fight. He was like, if we have to give them our lives, we give them hell before we do
Yeah.
it. I love that
What
part.
I-
Like, yeah.
Is
We'll
that
go
the
out
third one?
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, right?
I love
Yeah,
that.
and they do.
What,
Yeah.
They
what,
do.
what I was gonna say is I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Exorcist,
Yes.
but that's kind of a comfort movie for me in a weird way.
Yeah.
Not
I
'cause-
see it.
not
No, I
'cause-
see it. I
Not
see
because
it.
I like
she gets
scary
healed?
movies and stuff,
So do
but
I.
I like
It's a well-made movie.
I like when movies depict the forces of good and evil battling it out. I
Right.
just think that's really cool because I think it's the
Yeah,
whole
I
story.
agree.
But what I really like is there's this deleted scene that's in the extended cut where the two priests are asking
Oh,
why
yeah.
the demon would do this to a little girl. And the head priest says, I think the demon's goal is to make people despair and to feel like there is no hope. And then
Oh, I
that's
love
like, and then it's
that.
like this, it's supposed to be
Wow.
the culmination of the movie of saying like, it's supposed to try and make you feel defeated and like you shouldn't have hope, but they're kind of the embodiment of hope and that's how you beat
deep.
it. That's why I like that
That
movie,
is
why I
deep.
find
Yeah.
it kind of comforting. Because
Yeah.
I guess I feel that in the same way of like, I'm not trying to be toxic positivity and be like, just hope your way out of it. Like
Yeah,
I
of
know it's
course.
difficult.
Sure.
But I
yeah.
do think that the goal that they have is for us to feel no hope and like we have no community
And
and we can't do
divided.
anything about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do think the rebellious act is to be hopeful.
No, it
to
reminds me of something.
Keep fighting.
No, I love that you said that. I'm never going to think
Yeah.
about the movie the same.
Yeah.
But, you know, it reminds me of a thought that I had of like just seeing all of this like disgusting racism and hate and just trying to think of that person. Someone loves that person, you know, like that person loves someone or something. And just like trying to humanize them through my anger and just, you know, it's interesting. I've always heard people say like, I will pray for you when things like that happen. I used to
Yeah.
think that was kind of silly or dumb. But now I really like kind of understand it because I'm like, you see someone with so much anger, so much, like, it gotta be some kind of demon. Seriously. Like, I almost want to be like, that could be a movie in itself of like, loser demons, of like, let this person go. And it's like a demon, seriously, So, but it's like, it's interesting what you said of like good and evil, and
So that's why I find the movie kind of comforting, because it's like it's like about
what other scary movies do you find comforting? Because I actually really like scary movies. So I might know.
I like the movie Signs. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, I love Signs. I think is that a scary movie?
It's supposed to be. I don't think it's scary.
I don't think it's scary.
But I think what I like about that movie is it's a spiritual movie. I don't watch it because it's spiritual, but I think the movie talks about how like it's very easy to believe or be hopeful in times of good fortune. But it explores a reverend who lost his faith because his wife was brutally killed in a car accident. And it's about how finding hope and faith in times of crisis and exploring how difficult that is. And so I find it comforting because I'm like, oh, yeah, it is pretty hard to find hope and faith during hard times.
That's a really
so
good
to
example.
see it like on screen and stuff like that, I'm like, if somebody could think that up, I could probably do that for real.
Yeah.
Wait, one last one. What did you think about Insidious?
Insidious, I liked it.
Right?
I liked it. I just really like when people. I just like that as a storytelling device when people show good and evil duking it out, because I think it's like an old story, but I think it's something that's still around. I think people are always going to be oppressive or hurt other people or be hateful. I see it as more like hate and empathy duking it out.
Yeah.
And I think empathy always wins.
Yeah, man,
I mean, again, I
does.
think we got to do the work, and I'm not saying like just disconnect and it'll all get better, but I think fighting the good fight is worth it.
I agree. I think there's two things that I want to say, I guess, and it feels like the vibes are getting that we're nearing the end of the pod. One, comfort horror movie, The Shining and Nightmare on Elm Street. Not as deep as yours. I just like those movies.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is usually a little like.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Second thing I wanted to say, it wasn't something that I wrote down on the wall, but I think it was something that I wish I had, and I actually came up with a conversation that we were having with Brittany. I think Brittany Bravocado.
Shout out to Brittany.
Yeah.
Thank
Shout
you
out
so
to
much.
Brittany. It was a conversation that we had. She had asked me and Brandon which of your work was our favorite. And I said the one that looks like the Virgin Mary but has more indigenous features and indigenous industry, indigenous features. And the reason why I had said that was because I enjoyed the idea of that there's still hints and little like things that survive from our indigenous ancestors that to this day, after thousands of years, are still prevalent in modern society. And I said, I think it kind of goes with the mantra of your existence is resistance.
Yes.
And I think that relates a lot to this convo of like, I think that as long as you're breathing, the fight continues and it's never over. And I just was one of the last things that I wanted to kind of add in there, because I did wish that when me and Brittany were having that convo that I had written that down, because Brittany seemed to like it too. And I was like, it just kind of came up on the fly.
That was on one of the shirts that I had. Did you see?
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
I
Subconscious?
airbrushed these shirts, but one of them I wrote, our existence is
resistance.
But that's also, this one says that we didn't cross the border crossed us. But that quote is like an underlining theme of my work. It really, really is. And what what we all can really
find value in.
Yeah, like we all, it relates to all of us. You know, we don't really have to, what's the word? We don't really have to push so much because our existence is resistance. And that is huge.
Yeah, it's like huge. Even subconsciously just walking around every day, the fact that you are here and living your life is kind of almost like a political statement in and of itself.
Well, because I think about like kind of what you said, where it's like, our existence, and even like just speaking in terms of like being outspoken, right? I know they hate it. I know they find us annoying, and they wish we would shut up, and we're kind of like a thorn in their side. Cool. Like, I'm not gonna, like, you being racist and homophobic or whatever hateful bigotry thing you were gonna be, well, why would I make it convenient for you? Like, and I feel like to me that's a comforting thought. Well, at least it wasn't easy for them. It wasn't convenient. they're gonna be like, man,
Give
wish
them
I-
hell.
Yeah, you know, like
Give
at
them
least,
hell.
at least I didn't just go down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But this seems like a very perfect spot to kind of wrap things up.
Yeah.
Before we go, want to give a quick shout out to you again for being on the podcast the second time, giving us first that beautiful portrait over there, and then also our beautiful logo. I think you've brought a lot of value to us, even beyond your art, even your words that you were saying earlier. I was listening very intently. It means a lot. I think if I rewatch this episode, I might even shed a tear because I thought
Aw.
you were very much comforting, and I think you were saying a lot of things that even beyond the comfort just gave me a lot of value that I don't think I had before we had this session. And so I just want to say thank you for coming on the show again and just kind of just having a good time, just having an
Yeah.
amazing conversation.
You all are the best.
Oh,
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for
And
coming on.
I wish you all nothing but the best. Sending
Thank you.
prayers for all of your continued blessings from here on out and to align with community that will bring value.
Thank you.
Ditto.
Appreciate
Thank you.
that.
Ditto.
Thank you. We wish the same to you.
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah.
But before we send everybody off, again, thank you to Ayala for joining us, but also thank you to our patrons. Shout out to Yoel, Eli Quintero, Stephen Carvajal, Altadino Rebuild, and Diana Laura. If anybody out there wants to join the Patreon, our link is always in the description. Really hope everybody watching enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you guys next week.
See
Bye.
ya.